Kyle Evans. Kyle Evans.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of the internet. Kyle Evans here for your daily checkup from your neck up. Welcome back to the G.R.O.W Show. This week, we've been taking a deep dive into setting the tone, making sure that we have the best year ever, not in theory, but in actual practice, and making sure that we honor the goals or commitments that we say to ourselves. Guys, excuse me. The week so far, the mornings at least have had weight, right? Like we've been taking a dive. We drew a line in the sand. We told the truth, the actual truth. We audited our reality. We inspected what we expect. And yesterday, we decided that we were going to choose hard on purpose. Today's a little different. It's not easier, but it's definitely going to be a little lighter. Momentum is not always built by intensity alone. It's built by movement. It's built by action. And movement requires hope. It does. So today, we're going to be a little more hopeful, a little lighter. One of the things I want you to understand now that we've come up with a line, we've chosen hard, we've audited, is I want you to understand why most people quit. Because most people don't expect this. The most dangerous moment when it comes to growth, and I've experienced myself, the most dangerous moment is not in the beginning. It's after the hard conversation. The most dangerous moment, the most difficult time, it's after the clarity. It's after making the choice, after the resolve. That's when most people stall. Well, Kyle, that sounds interesting. Why? There's a fallacy. There's a misconception, a myth, if you will, that momentum shifts in your life, in your business, the changing of identity, that it should feel dramatic, that the heavens should part and you should hear music and light should be shining down and there's this big dramatic thing. I am a new person now and I choose hard and I'm going to do all the things that I said I was going to do, and this no longer serves me. I'm going to be this, and there should be trumpets. It's not. Research on behavior change shows something very important. The people who actually sustain the change, the people who actually continue down the path, they rarely feel fired up. They may in the moment, but not continually. They don't feel fired up, but what they do is they choose consistency. Because the real truth about momentum, the real truth about motivation, not the highlight reel, not the social media, not the sex appeal, is it doesn't really announce itself, but it accumulates quietly. It builds. We tend to overestimate how much change should happen quickly. As a high D on the disc, you're looking at that guy. We often overestimate how much we can do in a short amount of time, how much change, how much difference will happen in a short amount of time. And because of that, we underestimate how powerful small adaptations, small changes, small choices really are. There's a well-known principle. It's that small, repeatable actions compound faster than sporadic, intensity. Said shorter, consistency beats intensity every time. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. It's because when you study habit formation, you see that the consistency of the choice beats going super hard for a short amount of time. We don't need heroic effort. We need repeatable effort. That's the secret sauce, but no one wants to hear that because it's not sexy. It's not a grand slam moment. It's a whole bunch of singles if you're a baseball fan. What that means, what you should take away from that, what I desire you to understand is if you're waiting to feel ready, if you're waiting to feel confident or motivated, you probably waited too long. The train has passed you by. The ship has sailed. If you're waiting for the feeling, you're waiting too long. Progress is boring. It's boring. It's boring. The people that win in the long term with the change, with the new direction, with the growth are the ones who agree to being boring and being consistent. And that's why it works. There's a key psychological shift that's needed, and it's to understand that confidence isn't a feeling. Confidence is a conclusion. Your brain builds confidence after actually seeing proof, after actually seeing evidence, data. That's why when you look at studies on like self-efficacy, it shows that people gain belief in themselves only after repeated successful follow-through, which is the counterintuitive lie that we fall for. I need to feel confident to make the action. I need to feel belief in myself to do the action. But the truth of the matter is you only feel the belief that you're looking for after repeated successful follow through. It's why most of us stay stuck. Not after affirmations, after action. It's because small wins teach your nervous system that you can be trusted. That's why I can't say this enough. Broken promises drain your energy. Keeping your promises restore it. Every time. It's one of the reasons why forward beats perfect. Let me talk to you here, my perfection people out there. Perfection kills momentum. It does. If you focus on perfection, you're going to stay in analysis paralysis every time. If you demand perfect execution, you're probably going to get no execution. The people who just go take the shots, they're the ones who can learn on the way. Perfection says, if I can't do it right, I won't do it at all. Actual momentum says, I'll adjust while moving. Forward motion, even sloppy, keeps identity intact. If you want to lose weight, I don't need every exercise, every workout to be perfect, but I need you to go do it. If you want to build your business, every day is not going to be a home run, but I need you to go do the things, follow the calendar, keep the commitments, learn while going. That mindset alone is what's going to keep you in the game. It's what's going to actually give you the results that you're looking for. Sometimes we fall for the lie that we need the whole plan. And I get it, because when you look at the way that the brain operates and that the way that people make decisions, it shows that more often than not, when outcomes feel ambiguous, when the outcome is cloudy or foggy, we don't know exactly what we're looking to accomplish, that's when anxiety is the highest. Not when it feels difficult. See what I'm saying? If the outcome is foggy, if you don't exactly know where you're going, what you're doing, where you're rowing to, the anxiety is higher than if you knew where you were going, but you knew it was going to be hard or difficult. Direction reduces anxiety. Direction reduces anxiety. You don't need the full map, but you need to go north. You need the next block, the next conversation, the next step, the next play. You need the next disciplined choice. Direction will calm your nervous system, your anxiety. You need to know where you're going and why. We will figure it out on the way, but you got to have the end goal in mind. It's going to calm yourself. And it's important because momentum, true momentum, actual life-changing momentum, it doesn't feel like hype. And if you're asking me, unfortunately, a lot of times it feels like the opposite of hype. Doesn't always feel good. Which is why I know it's working. Because the real momentum is the opposite of comfort. If nothing changes, nothing changes. And if we keep seeking mediocrity and comfort, we're going to find it. True momentum, it doesn't feel like hype. But you know what it does feel like? Less internal arguing. It feels like simpler and faster decisions. It feels like fewer promises broken. And my God, does that feel good? Real momentum can feel calming. People who stay in real momentum, not highlight reel, not social media motivation guru, actual momentum, more often than not, it's not intense, but it's in alignment. It's consistent. When you're thinking about this week, this year, this month, I want you to shrink the window down. If your idea is 2026 as a whole, cool. I love that. We got to know where we're going. We already talked about that. But I need you to think in shorter steps. I need you to think about Sunday night. I want you to consider Sunday night. What would have to be true for me to be laying my head down on my pillow, my sweet, comfortable pillow on Sunday night? What would have to be true for me to say, I kept my word this week? What would have to be true for me to say, I chose consistency this week and I kept my promise? What would have to be true for Sunday night, you to get that feeling? Not everything, not 2027, 2026, 2030. Like, I don't need all that. I want Sunday night. What has to be true in your world, in your actions, in your thought process for you to lay your head on that sweet pillow, on the cool side of the pillow, not the warm side? Come on, somebody, and say, I kept my word this week. Momentum loves short horizons. Ask any distance runner. You ain't thinking about the end of the marathon. You're thinking about getting your big chunky butt, talking about myself, to the stop sign. Let me get to that stop sign. I can't think about the end of this race. It's way too far away, but I can think about getting to that mailbox. I think about getting to that light. Actual momentum loves short horizons because it gives them wins along the way, building the consistency, the data, the nervous system saying, I can do this. I am compounding these wins. You've heard me talk about this before. To get where we're going, we have to bring in grace and grit. We have to. People who can recover quickly from mistakes, more often than not, progress faster than people who punish themselves. Grace can keep you in the game. Grit keeps you moving forward. I don't need you to be ruthless with yourself, but I do need you to be honest. I need you to be committed. If you miss a day, I hear you. Life happens. Ain't none of us perfect. You're looking at one of the most unperfect people in the world. If you miss a day, cool. Return the next, though. Get up. Dust yourself off. Show up the next day. That's strength. That's actual consistency. That's actual growth. This week, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's not about highlight reel transformation. But what it was about was orientation. Together, we sat down each morning and we figured out what we won't tolerate anymore. We figured out where we actually stand with our audit. We figured out what our calendar says and what it's going to say. We figured out which hard we're going to choose, because make no mistake, you're going to have to choose one. That's enough to move. My overthinkers out there, my S's and C's on the disc, you got enough to move now. Most people never slowed down long enough to get what we got clear each morning this week. You did. I don't need you to go out and sprint, but I do need you to walk forward without stopping. I need you to walk forward without lying to yourself. Momentum is not loud, but my God, is it faithful? It's faithful. Just focus on keeping the next promise. Just focus on protecting the next block. Focus on laying the next perfect brick. Because if we focus on laying the next brick, the perfect wall will reveal itself. I need you to focus on choosing and committing to the next hard thing. Not perfectly, but deliberately. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is how we set the tone for our reality. This is how we set the tone for 2026. Thank you for joining me this week, and thank you for joining me for all the weeks to come. It is an honor to be here with you in the morning. I'll see you next week. Onward.
Grow with Kyle Evans.